blacked out.
What just
I
happened?
see it. Hold on. What happened just now?
We went live
Ash,
and
where'd
he's
he go?
completely
Bro, he
gone.
went like
Ash
this.
just
He did some magic, bro. He went like
yo,
this and then
Ash
just
fell
blacked out.
into the shadow realm. That's
I
literally the
hope,
shadow
I
realm.
hope, I hope that it's the
I
live
don't even
song.
think he
Like, I
could
hope.
hear us, bro, because we're not getting audio from him
Yo,
either.
my son just Houdini'd, bro. Ash just
Yo,
Houdini'd out of nowhere.
shout out to Ben in here. I know we got
Ben
about
Win,
4 or
what's
5 people
up?
in. As you guys are popping in, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and most definitely hit that share button. For those of you confused what we're talking about, as you can see our guest in the middle here, Mr. Ashton Money. He was here, and what just happened? He had to leave and then come back.
Like
as soon as what's funny, guys, is he was there, and as soon as we hit live, he entered the shadow realm. I don't know what happened.
My mom literally called me as soon as y'all started. That's crazy.
Wow.
So am I kicking this other one?
Yeah, just kick that other one. I don't know why it signed
Alright.
into like 2 different ones.
I hear echo.
There's
though.
a little bit of an echo
Might be your
over
speaker,
from
whatever
you,
you're
Ash.
holding. Yeah.
How about now?
Hello. No, we hear.
Yeah,
echo.
it's still there.
Okay.
I think you might
Am I signed into like 2 different ones?
I was about to say because the echo wasn't there backstage.
Is the speaker
what up,
maybe
Nate?
too
How you
loud?
doing, man?
Maybe the
And
speaker's
James
too loud.
Knox. Oh, he dipped. This time
He'll be
it's not
back.
the
He'll be
shadow
back.
realm. He
Yeah,
just
he'll
got
be back.
eliminated,
Yo,
yo.
what's going on, guys? What's going on? Ben, Nate, James, and everybody else joining into the Friday edition of the Young Guns podcast. We had to postpone it, and we're back here for Friday. We're going to be previewing the Giants-Titans game. It's so nerve-wracking to even think about right now. Giants football is finally back. We're, of course, going to be talking about yesterday's first game of the 2022 season. The Bills sending a message to everyone in the NFL, not blitzing one single time and having 7 sacks and allowing 10 points. The Bills are going to be on a freaking death tour this season. I see. Oh, Ash was here. Then he was gone again. So we'll wait for Ash. Ash is the special guest. We'll introduce him in a second. You guys should know him, friend of the show, friend of both of our channels, and he's gonna be, posting on his channel more often now. They get back with Ash and Griffith. By the way, that logo that you made for Ash is pretty dope, man.
Hey, thank you.
Pretty damn dope.
We worked on that for I think it was like a week or 2 behind the scenes.
What software did you use?
Photoshop.
It's pretty damn good, man. Pretty damn good. I really wanted to wait until Ash is in here so we could all talk about the situation with Giants and Bills and Rams and stuff like that. But
we could start off with Bills Rams.
Let's start off with Bills Rams because we don't really care about Ash's opinion on that one. So let's let's talk about Bills Rams.
The Bills, listen, man, they put their stamp on the NFL, bro. Not only did Josh Allen basically pick up right where he left off in the playoffs. Let's not forget now, the only reason the Bills didn't make it past KC is because Patrick Mahomes pulled out some absolute magic with 13 seconds left. That still is to this day like probably the second best football game I've ever seen in my life. Literally down to the wire, 13 seconds left, and they scored. After Josh Allen scored, I think it was like with 40-something seconds left, right? So that was a crazy game. And Mahomes could still do that to the Bills, this what's it called? This postseason. But it's only been one game. They look like they're about to be the best team in the NFL because their offense is still very potent. I was kind of wondering earlier on why both the Bills and the Rams were running a lot of short passes, a lot of screens. I was like, they're not really going downfield. Later on in the game, they did go downfield. It was clear they made it a point. They didn't want to run Josh Allen a lot. They were trying to protect him. But as the game went on and it became necessary, they ran him, and then they got the big lead. But the story of the game really should be the defense. That Bills defense looks immaculate, bro. Like you said, they didn't blitz one time, and they got 7 sacks. And I think they got like 4 turnovers or something like that. So you combine what was already one of the best offenses in the NFL with a defense that if they perform like that every week, it's the best defense in the NFL. You got like the Super Bowl favorites right there.
I mean, Leslie Frazier may have the easiest job in NFL history. I mean, he just sit back. He doesn't even need to like orchestrate anything crazy. He's sending 4 guys out there and just getting 7 sacks and only allowing 10 points. It's freaking amazing. Leslie Frazier, defense coordinator over there for the Bills.
That's got to tell you what the addition of Von Miller did. I mean, that's the only change in terms of edge rushing.
Yeah, well, on top of it, it's the defensive rotation that they have. They showed all the defensive snaps. Guys like Ed Oliver, he left out the game early, but guys like Ed Oliver and Greg Rousseau, were like splitting reps and they were all going in on rotation. Even Von Miller was even getting a lot of snaps in the beginning. But they have a fresh rotation of guys that they just throw in there, and it's like they didn't make any changes. That's like how you build a successful defensive
That's
front.
true.
So
I will say though,
yeah, we hear you. And there's no
Ash,
echo,
I'm gonna
so
let
we're
you
good.
go for a second right now. I'll say though, this is something the commentator brought up that I thought was funny, but I'm like, could be true. He's like, they brought in Von Miller, and then all of a sudden everybody's a pass rush specialist. I think they brought in Von Miller. Him alone is a big addition, but having him, Leslie Frazier, probably changed the way he was approaching the defense and changed what he was telling those guys on the D line to do. Maybe he did tell them, "Yo, go get the quarterback a little bit more." Go ahead, Ash.
And you know what's the crazy thing about that? Their first-round rookie, Kyer Elam, he didn't start yesterday.
Because their sixth-round guy beat him out. Yeah.
Better.
And he played crazy. And he played just as good, though. So, like, and I think when Kyer Elam does, he's not gonna not start for the whole season.
Right. He'll eventually get his time.
Yeah. So when you put him in there, and then you bring back Tre'Davious White as well, because he's not playing due to injury, like the first 4 games.
That's crazy, bro.
Their defense is going to be legit.
Yep. And then you got Taron Johnson over there playing the nickel role. I mean, it's just like their defense is absolutely what every NFL fan should aspire, or team should aspire their defense to look like. I mean, it's like I said, Leslie Frazier has such an easy job right now, like just letting those guys ball out. I mean, easier than any of Eli Manning's backup quarterbacks, right? Just easy job. So, I mean, and the Rams, man, they just won the Super Bowl, and you would have never thought that team just won the Super Bowl with how much they were being beat down. Like Matthew Stafford, everybody's like complaining, like killing Matthew Stafford, but let's just be real. The pass rush was insane. And
I'll say this. It's at first I was saying that like on Twitter, responding to people, but as the game went on, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, all right, bro, you gotta do better than this too. Like it really was like that too.
Two of his 3 picks were off of tipped passes. I mean, they were off of like defenders tipping the passes, but still, I mean, I don't know. I think Matt Stafford isn't as good as a lot of people say he is, but I don't think he's as bad as a lot of people say he is either. Like a lot of people overrate and underrate this guy. But
so does that make him perfectly rated?
Right. At the same time, may make him perfectly rated, but I think the Rams will be okay. I think this is just a week 1 thing. I think the Rams will be okay. I know a lot of people are thinking that maybe the Rams won't, make it out the NFC West or even make the playoffs or whatever.
They're gonna be fine,
I've seen that before. Yeah. A lot of people are talking like, the Matthew Stafford era and with the Rams is like basically over now, which I don't think is true either. I know after one bad game, it's just like, I don't understand it. Poor Allen Robinson, bro. He definitely got Kenny Galladay.
I will say that the memes have been killing me. You can't lie, KB. The memes absolutely have been killing me. Where it was like Matthew Stafford sees a black wide receiver open versus seeing a completely covered white wide receiver, and I was like, that was killing me, yo.
Oh, I saw on TikTok that on a comment somebody said that same exact thing. And then somebody was like, "Oh, maybe they should have traded for Adam Thielen."
Yeah.
I was like, "Damn, bro. We'll see what happens." But man, Allen Robinson has had the worst luck in the NFL. Like to go off on a quick tangent, he had Blake Bortles and then had any Chicago Bear quarterback, and then now he's going to the Rams and they're just like dysfunctional all of a sudden. Like no matter where this guy goes, like destruction happens, like in a bad way though. So I feel bad for Allen Robinson. But yeah,
go ahead, Ash.
Okay, go Ash.
So you're just recapping the game.
Yeah, we're recapping the game, and then we'll go
reacting to it. You could even go off the Allen Robinson point if you want to.
The thing is, my thing, I actually just it should be uploaded now, but I just did like my video for the reaction and the my week 1 picks. And another player that just disappointed a lot of people, not me, but a lot of people, was Cam Akers.
Bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
But I think it was because he wasn't used a lot.
Why didn't Sean McVay use that man at all, bro?
But let's be real though. Darrell Henderson was running that rock though. Darrell Henderson was doing really
Cam
well.
Akers cost me money in a Super Bowl. I will never trust him again.
Ooh. Dude, I saw people drafting this guy for like 4th round or 3rd or 4th round in fantasy drafts. They're a running back by committee anyway. I wouldn't even draft him even with a high Cam Akers upside. I wouldn't even do that with Cam Akers. Darrell Henderson is going to get his touches. And he did in that game. I believe he got a lot of fantasy points. He got a lot of catches as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't know why I didn't put money on that game. It's like always when I
forgot to
on games, the stuff that I think is going to happen. I predict
yes.
happens.
Thank you.
Like I predict a good
that's
game.
That's why I don't bet, bro, because for like 90% of the playoffs I was right, but like with the big game, the Super Bowl, I was wrong. Go ahead, yo.
That's it. But
the playoffs are probably the safest to bet in, though.
And Jalen Ramsey as well. That dude.
Let me tell you, bro. I put this on Twitter. I respect Jalen Ramsey heavily because he's like one of the best, if not the best cornerback in the league. But I love with the amount of garbage that he talks. I love when receivers just get in his head. And man, Stephon Diggs just talking to him after he got burnt. Oh man, that was enjoyable.
I want Ash to respond to this first. What I'm about to say. He's smiling like he knows what I'm about to say. He probably does. All right. Can we all admit, what up, Taj and Cletus? Can we all admit for 1 second, on a serious note, that when Jalen Ramsey was zesty and I didn't know what he was the best cornerback in the NFL. And I don't know what year it was.
We gotta get back to
being zesty to being like just a chill dude, like the flick of a switch in an off season. And I'm just saying, bro, when that man was giving locker room interviews saying, "You tell me," he was the best corner in the league. Ash, tell me now, bro.
I don't know. You tell me.
Exactly. You tell me.
Jalen Ramsey was special.
This man came out.
He was, bro.
He was special.
He was in his bag, bro. He was really in his bag.
Bro. Oh my God, that shit had me dying.
We got to get back to zesty Jalen, bro. He has to come back, man.
Obviously, that was a little bit of a joke, guys. But like, Jalen, he's still one of the better cornerbacks in the NFL. But he got toasted last night. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Authentic made a good point here.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Now I was saying Jalen Ramsey, he allowed a perfect rating of 158.3.
Yeah, perfect quarterback rating. He allowed all his receptions besides one. Yeah, I don't know how many targets it was, but I know he allowed all completions except one.
Yeah.
So that's ridiculous, and 2 touchdowns. That's how Aaron Robinson is probably going to be. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. Authentic made a good point here. Adam Schefter just reported Rams wanted more urgency from Cam Akers. That's something I noticed too. When Cam Akers did, on the very few times he did touch the ball, it was very sluggish. It was like he had no sense of urgency. He didn't hit the hole. He kind of danced in the backfield a bit. He saw a lot of pressure there, which obviously the Bills are a really scary front this season, and they showed it yesterday. But I mean, Darrell Henderson was hitting the hole as hard as he could. Cam Akers just looked like he just gave up the line of scrimmage. And so I can definitely see that as well. And the same thing how I related, like how Allen Robinson kind of got Kenny Golladay, right? Same thing with like Cam Akers. If you're not used a lot, like Kenny Golladay wasn't used a lot, you kind of like lowers your morale a little bit. Maybe makes your attitude a little bit worse when you get inside the game and you actually do get an opportunity. So,
yeah. You know, the crazy thing, and like, I don't want to like make this a Giants fan thing, but like people were like comparing everything to the Giants.
Josh Allen.
Both.
Are we going down the Josh Allen route?
No, I was gonna say. So there was like on one of the first picks that Matthew Stafford threw. For some reason, I can't remember the Twitter user's name. If I did, I would have said it. But this Twitter user said that Giants fans, if that was Daniel Jones, would find a way to blame the pick on Daniel Jones. Asher, Mike just got cut out or something. And I was just like, why is it that we're watching a game and you got to compare everything to Daniel Jones? Whether it's the good, like Josh Allen, like you were implying, KB, or the bad. I'm just like, that's the state that this fan base and franchise is in, bro.
Bro, and people...
Especially the Bills. We're going to compare everything to the Bills. So,
can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
No, I was just saying. And then when James, I know who tweeted, but I'm not gonna say the person. But when like James Cook fumbled on his first carry, I saw somebody was like, "I'm so glad the Giants didn't draft James Cook." I'm like, bro,
he fumbled once.
Like.
The people not remember when this guy fumbled his first carry from the Chiefs. I'm thinking Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt. Okay.
He fumbled on his first carry ever as a Chief or in the NFL when he never fumbled before in his entire life, and he went out to have a pretty damn good career. Wolf said KB got, yeah, I know. StreamYard's just doing this to me again. I have no connection issues. Same thing that happened in the freaking draft. No connection issues besides StreamYard. Like my computer's.
All right, I was about to say, let's call it what it is, bro. It's Spectrum.
Stop. See, I want to say it's Spectrum. I hate Spectrum just as much, but nothing. My phone isn't acting up. Nothing else is acting up. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I don't know,
Wolves,
man.
It's okay, bro. KB gonna get out the trenches eventually, bro.
We gonna get out the trenches. We gonna
get out the mud, bro.
I cut off the. I was watching the Boise game here, so maybe that's what it was on stream on NFL Byte.
Could be, yeah.
Could be. So
Bobby
I hope that
Murphy says that he heard the Rams are looking to trade Cam Akers. That would be one surprise. I'll tell you that, bro.
Honestly, it wouldn't be if they can get a good I guess return on investment or a good trade, that could work because they run a running back by committee kind of thing anyway. If they wanted to go full steam with Darrell Henderson, they probably could do that. So
yeah. Ligma says, I want to give Ashton a fade for free. I wouldn't take that, but that's up to Ash.
Listen, Ligma, listen. Right. Next week, it's been a rough week. Haven't had any time to fit the barber appointment in there. Next week, I got you. So.
Oh, I thought he was talking about fade like he was about to mink you, bro.
Oh, bro, he knows better. He knows.
I thought that's what he was talking about.
I know. When I hear fade, when I hear you catch a fade or something like that, I'm thinking that he's.
Nah, bro, he knows better.
Oh damn, it's about to go down. Well, Leek was like 11, so I don't know. I seen this kid like a couple years ago. He looks like me when I was a kid. It's all right, Ligma. It's all right, man. You're my son. Hey, so let's go. Let's go on to this Giants Titans game, man. Listen, the more that every minute that passes, forget about days and hours. Every minute that passes by, I get more and more anxiety for this game, man. I am excited, but I'm nervous and I'm scared at the same time. I said this from the beginning when the schedule came out. The Titans was probably the worst team the Giants could play week 1 because talk about a team to shake your rust off on. You got to face Derrick Henry just running down the field constantly over and over again, wearing your defense down to the fourth quarter in week 1, where guys are probably not fully conditioned because it's the first week of the season. This is gonna suck, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna probably miss out. We'll talk about that in a second. We're probably gonna miss out on Azeez and Kayvon. They're both doubtful.
Oh, let's talk about that first, bro. Yeah, Ash, let me get your thoughts.
How do you feel about Jahad Ward and O'Shane?
The absolute treacherous duo of Jahad Ward and O'Shane Zimenez that might be our starting
and Timon Fox that comes in every once in a while.
When Azeez went out that practice against the Jets, like right at the end of the practice, I told them we are going to be having O'Shane Zimenez, Ziminy Crickets, and Jahad Ward sitting the edge, right? And then, like Blake, even though I thought Blake Martinez was going to get walked down anyway against Derrick Henry, but now you have Austin Calitro starting.
Over Micah McFadden, yo, bro. That
we'll
talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. But I'll let you finish.
Calm down. Listen, but you have Austin Calitro starting. Even if Micah McFadden was starting, he was going to get walked down too.
He's a god, bro. Stop,
bro. All right, listen, but and I'm just not a fan of O'Shane. I mean, he could get better. Players could always prove me wrong. But I'm just not a fan. Like, when's the last time O'Shane touched a quarterback? Does anybody know?
And you would think guys that can't pass rush well, that are edge players, are good at stopping the run. O'Shane's probably one of the worst players on the team at stopping the run.
But I do think there's a chance that this scheme can be in favor of him. And I think they know that too, being that they kept him over Quincy Roche. I still don't agree with that. Yeah. But I think if Derrick Henry is truly, back from that foot injury and he bounces it to the outside, you might as well call it, say goodnight, because, like, bro, he will turn O'Shane Zimenez into a lead blocker. Like
you're going to turn him around and say, block for me.
Like, come on, bro. Like, but outside of that, and a lot of Giants fans, like, they really haven't learned their lesson. And I get it. It's a new regime. It's new coaching. We're better fundamentally. But we clearly haven't learned our lesson from Denver last year. Like, I see a lot of people, on Twitter. They're like, "Oh, just put the ball in the hands of Ryan Tannehill. He'll win us the game." We made Teddy Bridgewater look like a god last year.
That we did.
And we are, on paper, our defense is probably worse than last year. Most likely worse.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, they're not wrong by saying put the ball in Ryan Tannehill's hands. Theoretically, they're not wrong, but at the same time, he will beat us.
No, that's the game plan you should do. But people are trying to make it seem like Ryan Tannehill is just some scrub.
Yeah.
Like, he literally beat 3 Super Bowl contenders last year.
I like Ryan Tannehill. I don't have a problem with him. I really don't. I think he's not great, but he's good.
I think he's a above average quarterback.
Yeah, now, I get the point that Ash is saying. There's a lot of Giants fans getting a little too confident right now, and I said this on the call-in show as well. I was like, with each day that gets closer to game 1, I'm getting more and more excited for the game, like as a football fan, because football is back. The Giants are back, so I'm getting more and more excited to see what they do. I want to see how the 2 biggest upgrades, at least, what I hope are the 2 biggest upgrades, that being scheme on both sides of the ball. I want to see how, the team looks. How is the execution and all that? I do think... What's up?
You go. Finish.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, like, I do think they're, like, it's not going to be a blowout. I feel like the days of Giants getting blown out are over. Because the main reason we got blown out is because we couldn't put back up points. We should be able to put up points in this offense. We should be able to score more than 1 touchdown. And that's crazy to think back upon. Last year, it was a struggle to score more than 1 touchdown. And if a team went up 2 touchdowns on us, the game was already over.
We scored 21 touchdowns last year.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't think we're going to get blown out. So I get what Ash is saying, and I agree with the Derrick Henry point. The thing is, though, if there is any type of plus to look at this, is that, like, Treylon Burks is the rookie, is their only receiver. I know they got Robert Woods, and I'm a huge fan of Robert Woods, but I don't know what Robert Woods looks like after, what was it? Was it an Achilles or ACL?
I think it was ACL.
Was it? Either way, it was a very serious injury.
Yeah, it was season
so it's like, I don't know what Robert Woods is going to look like. So it's like, we just
and on top of that,
somehow got to stop the pass.
Some no name. So
yeah, but at the same time, we don't really even have secondary pieces. We've admitted this. Like, we got...
But I would think, okay, Adoree's going to be matched up with Treylon, and then Aaron Robinson on whoever the third receiver is. I think the third receiver is going to be there outside. I think Robert Woods is going to be in the slot. So I don't dislike the matchup in the passing game. I'm still always going to probably lean towards, us being the weakness of, in that category. But when Nate said here, imagine the Titans being so bad they have to put Malik Willis into the game, and then
Malik Willis is going to start by week 4. I don't know,
but imagine by week 1 he lights it up, and then you'll never hear the end of it. That people that wanted Malik Willis just kill us in the freaking on Twitter.
I was one of those people, low key.
In the third round, I would have been one of those.
Nah,
people
remember, too. I gotta gloat on Ash for a second, bro. Because Ash, remember I said if he's in the second, get him, and there was a lot of people that said he wasn't making it to the second, and he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted him in the second. I'm not gonna lie, but after we didn't pick him in the second, I was kind of off of it. But I think they could try to do like a little read option with Malik, But I think Mike. I wouldn't put money on it because like Mike Vrabel, in terms of him like answering questions about Malik, and the media would try to like hype up Malik a lot, right? That he would try to say like, oh, there's always stuff he can work on and stuff, and kind of like tone it down. So I think he's going to be on the bench. But if I were the Titans, I would bruise up the middle with Derrick Henry and Hassan Haskins. They got Hassan Haskins too. Yeah. He's a bruiser.
Yeah.
I would bruise up the middle, and then like around like inside their own like or opponent's 30 or 40, I would bring in Malik for like a read option and bounce it to the outside.
Bro, I know you're not trying to game plan to beat the Giants right now. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing right now? This man is like game planning for the Titans. Here's what I would do to beat our defense.
I'm just saying that would be really good. That would be a really good matchup, a really good game plan.
What's up, Ronnie?
I was gonna say, yeah, you could read that one, but I was gonna read basically every comment. Go ahead.
Okay, what's up, Ronnie? She says, there's a whole new culture about to emerge. If we have the coaching in place, we can do better than we think. Yeah, and listen, if the Giants somehow, some way come out of this game on top, what are you guys gonna think about that? Like, well, what are you gonna be your thoughts, your instant reactions?
My instant reaction?
Yeah.
You want me to be completely honest with you?
Yes, we're going to Super Bowl.
My instant reaction is like, we got a real shot at 10 wins.
Yeah,
like that like you guys remember my range of wins?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm saying we're on the bottom of that range, 5 to 6. Exactly. If we go in here banged up, and as a team that honestly really shouldn't beat the Titans, and we beat them decisively, like my immediate reaction being the key word in this question, going off the high of being excited in the win, is that, oh my God, we could hit that top range of my win. So yeah.
What about you, Ash?
Yeah, I have to go with Hub. I think, I would really feel better about the team as a collective because we're going into this match hobbled up, and we won't have Kayvon or Z's. So getting that back, and I would think, we're much better fundamentally, and really the talent, I would feel like the talent is much better than I originally would have thought. I think we'll be I don't know about a 10-win team, but I kind of see it with the schedule, though. I think if we won Sunday, I think we would win about 9 games, 8 to 9 games.
I can get down with that.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I was just gonna, because I don't want these comments to go away. I was just gonna read like 5 or 6 comments from the chat right here. Shout out to Bobby Murphy, the Eagles fans. What up, Bobby? I haven't seen you in a minute, bro. Bobby will be talking trash in the comments, but y'all let him do his thing, yo. He good people. You could talk trash back, man. Just don't get too offended by it. It's just football. Nate says, Ziminy Crickets is one of my all-time favorite Giants trash talking nicknames. Ligman says, I need to acknowledge the Tribal Chief, the Hub. For those of you that don't know, Tribal Chief is nicknaming Roman Reigns right now, and like his shtick is acknowledge me. I don't think I look like Roman. But thank you, bro. Authentic says, what's up?
You look like a Uso. You look like you could be a part of a Uso.
Okay, that I can get. I wouldn't mind being part of, I wouldn't mind being a Uso. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I like the Usos. Authentic says, one will be going up against a rookie, but stopping the run is gonna be wild. Yeah. Ligma says there's gonna be a rerun of the movie Little Giants. Nate says there's just not a whole lot you could obviously point as reasons for optimism in this game. And then Authentic says, you saw that Allen just told Diggs to run as far as he could on the bomb. I want that kind of improv. I want that kind of improv too.
Matthew Stafford.
I don't know if Daniel has the bearings to do that, bro. I don't think he got the guts to go against what his coach is telling him to do.
No, yeah, because he hasn't earned that yet. He hasn't earned that. He's not.
It's not even about earning it, because if he had the guts to do it, he would have done it with targeting Kenny Golladay last year.
Yeah.
No, but guys like that make their own calls. You know what I'm saying? Guys like that go in the huddle and they make their own calls, and they're not going to hear anything from the coaches. Guys of that stature.
Daniel doesn't have that dog, and this is just
he doesn't have that dog. I mean, Daniel calls his own number sometimes. Let's be real though. He does call.
He does. Yeah, he calls his own number. But when it comes to like that specific example that Authentic just listed, just telling a receiver yo, just run down there. I'm gonna bomb it to you. Coming up with something on the spot and specifically going off script. I haven't seen him go off script.
I agree, but here's the thing. I will come to Daniel's defense in this one, and I'm not going to, defend him too hard, but I don't see a quarterback like him, not his personality, not him as a person, but as a player of what he's accomplished in the league. He hasn't earned that yet, and he's with a new coach, the first year together. He's just not.
No, the thing is, KB, I hear what you're saying. What I'm saying is, if you are the franchise quarterback, it's not a matter of earning it. I feel like it's a matter of if you got that mentality in you to do it.
I can understand that.
I think he had it before. I'm not gonna lie.
I think he had it too. That
2020 season, it was a fall off from his rookie season. But if you look at some of those games that he had, there was things that he's shown you in that 2020 season that showed he was able to deliver. Like that Tampa Bay game, the first time we played Tampa Bay. Not the rookie game, but his second year when we played Tampa Bay at home, we had the color rush. He threw two ugly picks in that game, and he came back and he threw a strike to Golden Tate in the back of the end zone. Those are one of the plays where I was like, okay, maybe we have something in Daniel Jones, right? Like even that Eagles game, when Evan Ingram dropped the ball, like he put that ball on the money. Evan Ingram, dropped it, but he still put that ball on the money. And if Evan Ingram would have caught that, we would have won the game. Especially in Philly, like the environment that Philly is in prime time, like that's what I'm saying. So like he kind of lost it, and I just think it's really mental.
But Ash, in this specific situation that we're talking about, how do we know which of those plays you mentioned were part of the play that the offensive coordinator called and which one of them were improvised by Daniel?
Oh no, I'm just talking about him like being able to go out like with adversity and throw like those strikes. That's what I'm talking about.
We've seen him do it. Yeah, we've seen him do that. Yeah. I feel like there's been examples. This is just a whole year of he's going to have to do a whole lot. That's why we're even having this conversation. He's going to have to do a whole lot of everything.
He's a robot, bro. Like he doesn't do, what he does what the offensive coordinator and his coaches tell him. He go out there and like the only time he improvises is whether he's on like a read option or he's getting pressure. And even when he does get pressure, he doesn't improvise. So it's like he doesn't really have that mentality, right? Like, but I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Real quick, guys, little plug. This stream is sponsored by Manscaped. So if you guys are interested in purchasing something from Manscaped, make sure you guys use the promo code KB27 for 20% off plus free shipping using manscaped.com. As always, your balls will thank you. They thanked me. So.
Bro, why did you? Yo, I'm gonna keep it real with you. You gotta sound a bit more enthusiastic with your promos, man. You sound a little dead reading that.
It's a podcast promo. You know what I'm saying? I'm more like, it's a podcast promo. You ever hear those promos and podcasts where like, do you want to save 15% or more on car insurance? Here, use Geico. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? You ever
I've heard the ones that go like, all right, guys, it's time for the promotional section of the podcast. Listen, guys, do you want your balls to thank you? Do you want them to be as smooth as a bald head on a Sunday afternoon after coming home from church? You know what I'm saying?
What?
What?
Hey,
yo, I've heard some crazy Manscaped ads, and I don't want to be one of those guys. So listen. Manscaped ads are crazy, and yeah, shout out to the Manscaped company for promoting a lot of the Giants content creators. I don't know, one of them may be a Giants fan. I don't know because they've been around a lot of the Giants.
Yeah, they've hit up a lot of people. I still haven't been paid by them, but
I mean. I can't. I'm not legally bound to talk about that right now until I'm out of contract. So, but yeah, make sure you guys use the promo code KB27 for 20% off plus free shipping. Anyway,
Ash, let me ask you about the Tennessee Titans. They have basically their main pass rusher, unfortunately, Harold Landry, tore his ACL, out for the season.
Yep.
Who was the guy opposite of him? Bud Dupree was opposite of him, went from the Steelers to there. And then I'll pull up the Tennessee depth chart right now so I don't have to continue guessing, man. Let me do this.
I don't think their depth is that great, to be honest with you, as far as pass rush goes. Well, as far as edge goes, I know the interior is good with, Jeffrey Simmons. I'm not even sure
exactly. They got Jeffrey Simmons. They got the Marcus Walker on the inside, Tyre Tart. Those are 3 defensive linemen. And right now it's Bud Dupree and David Long Jr.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think this pass rush or the D-line in general is going to look like against the Giants O-line, who we have 2 good tackles we could agree on? Still not sure who's going to start at left guard because of injuries. It's either Ben Burson or Josh Azudu. We got Mark Lewinsky on the right. And has it been confirmed if John Feliciano is starting at center this Sunday?
Yeah, he's starting at center.
Okay.
I think, and Josh Azudu is not starting at center. It's going to be Ben Bredesen.
Oh, they confirmed that? When did they confirm that?
Well, it was in their depth chart. You got to assume the depth chart. I know it's not official, but you got to assume the depth chart is the most updated.
I hear you, but I was seeing tweets up until a couple hours ago that they're still not sure yet.
Okay.
But what's your
I would hope Azudu.
But I think the tackles are going to be able to hold their own this game, but I think inside the interior is going to get blown up. I'm not going to lie. Like
Jeffrey Simmons is crazy.
I'm not really that big of a fan of Feliciano. I just especially he hasn't really played a lot of center in his career. And and then the interior, you're going to have Glowinski and basically Bredesen. We all know about Bredesen, right? But that could change. I think last year how horrible our play was on the offensive line, physically and schematically, was. We just think that these guys are, actually, like, maybe that could change for a guy like Bredesen. Maybe the fundamentals and all of it can, improve his play. So, but me personally, I think that interior is going to get blown up. I think we're going to have a rough time running the ball unless we do like screens or like bouncing it to the outside. But I don't think John Feliciano has a good game this week, to be honest.
Yeah, let me get the super chat real quick. Thank you so much, Ronnie Rivers, for the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I went to camp and the O-line looks a lot better than the past. DJ will have time to throw. He has to make the connections. And we saw a little bit of this in the preseason. I know it's the preseason, so I'm not going to, take too much stock in it. But we did see a bit in the preseason where Daniel Jones actually looked like he had a fair amount of time to throw. I would hope we see the same thing against Tennessee's front. And honestly, Tennessee's defensive front is patchy. It has some good spots. It also has some bad spots as well. Obviously, Bud Dupree and Jeffrey Simmons are really good players. But like Kush mentioned earlier, Tyre Tart, DeMarcus Walker, a veteran, he's all right. And then you got Denico Autry. And I really don't care too much for their other pass rush players. So I feel like our offensive line may be able to hold up a bit, if they just, find a way to suppress Dupree and Simmons.
I think Daniel Jones should be able to keep this game close. He should be able to drive the ball down the field, literally almost not every drive, but like a good majority of the time, he should be able to drive that ball down the field. Their secondary is suspect as hell.
Yeah, I was about to get to that too. Yeah,
and like you said, like their defensive front had, like, the interior is their strong suit. The edges, they're very weak at that with the their star pass rusher getting out. So it's all up to Daniel Jones, and that's what we could get into this a little bit later when we actually go into it. But for us to like be able to be in this game, you're going to have to stay up front, Tennessee. Like, you cannot playing catch up for Tennessee from behind, right? Like,
right. They're just gonna run that rock and wear you down.
When you stay ahead, that takes away Derrick Henry and like the running game,
right?
And, like I said, obviously, that forces Ryan Tannehill to win from the pocket, and make those throws. So Daniel Jones is going to have to, take advantage quick and early in this game.
I love that point that you mentioned with Derrick Henry, and if we're ahead in this game, they're forced to kind of stop using Derrick Henry. A lot of people don't know this, but Derrick Henry is a limited player. We talked about how in the first two quarters, I talked about before, the first two quarters, Derrick Henry's yard per carry is terrible. It's like 2 yards per carry, something like that. And then he breaks out in the third and fourth quarter.
I'll say this though, KB, that's like the name of his game though. That's literally him wearing down the defense.
I know. I'm not saying I hate that about it. I'm talking about his limitations. So he's very limited in the first two quarters. You don't want to be in a position where you're trailing in the game and he breaks out in the third and fourth quarter, and then there's no way for you to come back because your defense is already worn out. So that's a major strength that he has in the third and fourth quarter. On top of that, another limitation that he has, he's always taken out on third downs. He's always the backup running back on third down. Doesn't matter if it's like 3rd and 15, 3rd and 8 or whatever. Like, they always take Derrick Henry out of the game with that. And we've also seen the Titans lose games because they forcibly do not use Derrick Henry when they're trailing and when they're themselves are trailing in the game, and they're forced to throw the ball a lot because he's not really a pass catching running back. They always put in another running back when they do that. I watched a lot of Titans games last year, and I noticed Derrick Henry come out the game a lot when they're trailing in the fourth quarter because they want those running backs that can catch the ball at the backfield, so on and so forth. So that's a great point that you mentioned there, Ash. If we want to have a chance in this game, we already have to be leading going into the third and fourth quarter, because that's going to force them not to use Derrick Henry as much as they would. So
how many times last year were we leading at the half? And shout out to Ronnie, Miss Ronnie. Shout out to Miz. What up, yo? How you doing?
It hasn't been probably more than twice. Maybe once. I think once. We were leading at the half. That was the Carolina game, no?
Carolina comes to mind for sure. I don't know if there was another.
I think that's the only game we were leading at half at.
Eagles game.
What about week 2 Washington? Were we ahead or tied?
Eagles game.
Week 2 Washington. Where were we?
Man, I don't know. I can pull up the box scores for all these games.
You might have to go through week by week. I want to say week 2 Washington is possible. The Saints was a comeback, so I don't think we were leading at half. Either way, another thing to respond to Ms. Ronnie's super chat here. I was
at halftime.
For which one?
Week 2 at Washington.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Yeah, because that was like a game that they came back in. So yeah. So let me. One thing I want to respond to with the super chat is that I was also at training camp, and from what I saw, it was like the two extremes with the offensive line, not necessarily one or the other. Like they'd either be really, really good and look elite, and Daniel's getting like 3-4 seconds of back time, or Aziz and Kayvon would, not really Aziz, Kayvon and O'Shane actually would bust through the tackles and actually get to the quarterback relatively quickly because Aziz was out with his hamstring thing. So like there was extremes. There wasn't really in between. And to this day, I still know how to take it. Do I take it as like our edge rushers are that good when healthy? Or do I take it as our O-line needs a little bit more of work? But for the most part, it's definitely a complete step forward from last year. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Ash, you want to say something?
No, I don't really have anything to say. I just think that Wink was just putting on a lot in practice because, like literally as soon as he stopped blitzing, right before like we faced the Jets, like the offense had a good couple of games or a good couple of practices. So if I was the Titans, I'm not even gonna give them but you look at blitz, all right, that's gonna be to mess up Daniel and his mental processing right there. So that's all I have to say.
Let's talk about this very, very young secondary that the Titans have. The Titans have a relatively more inexperienced secondary than we do. I mean, they have a couple veterans there, like Kevin Byard, the safety position. Kevin Byard and Amani Hooker. No, Amani Hooker is like a 2-year player. Kevin Byard obviously drafted in 2016, but other than that, very, very young very talented secondary as well. You guys know about Caleb Farley, drafted last year. I believe. Did he play last year or was he hurt last year?
He did not play last year. That's Virginia Tech, right?
Yeah, Virginia Tech. He didn't play last year, right?
He had that second back surgery. That's why he dropped, and I don't think he played last year.
Gotcha. And then we got Christian Fulton, the LSU guy from like 2 or 3 seasons ago. And then the newly drafted Roger McCreary, who is slated to be in the slot this season. So very, very young secondary, but very talented, very like a lot of untapped potential there. And you don't know what's going to happen with this secondary. Caleb Farley hasn't played. Christian Fulton is like his first year as a full-time starter. And Roger McCreary is a rookie. So I don't know what to expect from this secondary. It's probably a very good matchup for these Giants receivers to try to get something going. That's probably one of the only edges that we have against playing this team is facing off against their young secondary. Obviously, Kevin Byard is going to be a problem. This guy has been on the top of the interceptions list almost every single year. Always has a fantastic year. And so the safety position might be an issue, may not want to air it out deep, but definitely, with the short to intermediate routes, we may be able to do something there with our more faster, more agile players. What do you guys think?
You could get a first ask.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said earlier, like Daniel Jones should be able to, take the ball down the field and especially like it's an easy contest. You're gonna have Saquon, Kadarius Toney, Wandale, all playing. They're gonna be guys that can easily just put the ball in their hands in short, intermediate routes, and they'll be able to get an extra 5 or 10 yards. Mm-hmm. So it should be easy for Daniel Jones, but I don't mean to sound like a hater, but Daniel Jones, like we still, he's still a question mark. We still have to see like just how much he's improved, not even physically, like mentally from last year, right? Like he was shot mentally last year, in my opinion, especially after that injury he suffered in Dallas. He really wasn't there mentally. So it's going to have to rely on Daniel, just like a lot of games this year is going to have to rely on Daniel Jones. And I am expecting a good game from Kadarius Toney. Wandale should have a pretty alright game. I think Saquon will have a good game receiving rather than rushing.
Okay.
But Daniel Jones is going to have to, and I mentioned this, like guys, like people were talking about how Wandale's getting like slammed in the preseason. Like short guys like that, you have to throw them open with anticipation. Like you can't just like let them sit there and throw them the ball because they're going to just get clobbered. You have to throw them open, and they're going to take the ball. Extra couple. That's what Kyler Murray did with Rondale Moore last year, and he suffered an injury. He should be out like half the season. He suffered an injury this past week in practice. They did that with Rondale Moore last year. You're gonna have to, when you do these crossing routes, you can't wait till Wandale is open. Like if there's a guy right here and Wandale is running, you're gonna have to throw that ball,
fit it in the window. Yeah,
you're gonna have to throw that ball and expect Wandale to reach there. And if it doesn't, it doesn't, right? But you're gonna have to take those chances. And I don't know if Daniel Jones is confident enough in himself to take those chances. So I would love Wandale to do good this year, but let's kind of settle our expectations on Wandale in terms of like his production this year.
I agree.
And not expect like a great season from him.
I completely agree. I don't think Wandale's gonna have the big season that a lot of people think he is. Kush?
I feel like I feel like that's a nice jump point to kind of just like give, since this is the season preview, we're right before the season opener, small predictions of what you think our offensive guys are going to show this year. Wandale, I think, has a lot of potential going forward, but I think as a rookie, he could give us maybe 500-600 yards receiving over the course of the year, and I would be extremely happy with that. It has the potential to be more because, like we've said countless times on the podcast, the offense from what we've seen in the offseason and a little bit in the preseason seems to be geared towards the guys Wandale and Kadarius. Short, very agile, extremely quick. And that's not to say Kenny Galladay can't eat in this offense. He most certainly can. But like, there's a lot of plays designed for those other two receivers, and Sterling Shepard to an extent as well, coming off the bench. Repeat the question though, and then definitely we could get into a little bit of predictions there. You were saying?
We were just talking about the I guess the matchup with the secondary and the wide receivers.
It would be, I know that you mentioned, and I agree with you, it's a young secondary is probably a little bit weaker than we're expecting. I think they're going to be helped out by the inside pass rush of Jeff Simmons and something from Bud Dupree as well. Our wide receivers match up really well with them. We gotta remember, we still technically don't know the health status of Kadarius Toney, right?
I think
like they're still being.
He's not on the injury report. Well, he's not.
I'm not talking about being out or in. I'm also referring to how healthy is he more than anything else, right? Like we don't. They've been very close to the vest with that one. KG, I think, is very close to completely healthy, right?
Yeah, I'm not.
So like,
no concerns.
KG is very close to completely healthy. Wandale is. Sterling just came back, so it's like we have those three at the very least being healthy for game one. And to be honest with you, our passing game versus their passing defense, I feel like we should have the advantage. So, but like Ash said, it comes back down to Daniel Jones is what it comes back down to.
Quick little note that I saw on Twitter a couple hours ago. I could be butchering this stat, but I think it was like 2 quarters out of 228 quarters of Daniel Jones. I think his career or something like that he had all his starting weapons available. This is one of those rare moments that Daniel Jones has all his starting weapons available. Should be. Like you said, like you talked about KT's health, Barkley's here, KT's here, KG's here, Bellinger, he has all his weapons right now. I would hope Daniel Jones, like usually when Daniel Jones has his guys, look at the Saints game. When Daniel Jones has his guys, we tend to do well. It's when, 1 or 2 guys are dropping out, our tight end gets hurt, Barkley's hurt, whatever, that we start to struggle. I would hope Daniel Jones has a little bit of a better showing out with all his weapons there. Quickly, I want to talk about Wan'Dale Robinson. I have concerns. I have legitimately concerns about Wan'Dale Robinson. When we look at the preseason, every time he was used, he wasn't even used. Like every time he was like focused on as a player, never was like targeted out the slot. He was always used as gadget plays. Always used as gadget plays. Wide receiver screens. It was a jet sweep, this and that. I don't think Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be the 600, 700-yard receiver a lot of people think he is. I think he's going to be like a 300, 400-yard guy this season and be used a lot in backfield plays and gadget plays. That's what I think. I mean, it's not wrong to do that because we do have a lot of wide receivers. And, you know, eventually someone's going to get hurt like Sterling, you know, cross my fingers and everything. But, you know, let's be real.
I was going to say, I agree with you if they use him like they did in the preseason. And I hope to God what they did in the preseason was for some reason that I can't even explain, bro. Maybe they just didn't want to show what they truly got in this guy.
And it didn't even work.
Yeah, remember that one game where he had like 1 yard total or something crazy like that?
He had 3 catches, 1 yard. I mean, it was
so what I'm holding out hope for is that they were doing that because they didn't want to show their full deck or something, which can make sense in the sense that the guys that shot in the preseason were guys like Alex Bachman. It was the second, third string wide receivers that were getting the attention, you know, as they should because they worked for that. That's what I'm holding out hope for. But if for some reason we use him like you say as a gadget player in the way that we saw in those couple of games, then yeah, he's not. I don't think he's getting to that 500-600 yard mark like I was saying. What could you see for Wan'Dale though? His rookie year here with the Giants, Ash.
I think he'll have like 500 yards.
What's up, Cookie?
Receiving yards. I think he'll have 500. Like I previously stated, like it's gonna come down to like if they do use him as like a receiver, as a slot receiver, it's going to come down to can Daniel Jones like throw him open with anticipation because he is 5'8".
Smaller, yeah.
I have to remember that.
It's gonna be harder to get him the ball too if he's smaller.
Yeah, but I think you'll see him like I think you'll see him be used as a running back in some place.
Like I said, yeah, like a gadget type of role for him.
I see him take carries. To be honest, I can definitely see that.
He's been a running back. He's been an actual running back in Nebraska. Yeah. So yeah, and he has the mold for it.
Bro, KT's been a running back and a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like let's get this man in some plays too.
Yeah. Some Wildcat with Wan'Dale and KT in the backfield with Barkley. Oh my God, what? But Wan'Dale has that like Devin Singletary type build to him. So I like that in Wan'Dale. But we'll see what happens. I'm just concerned about us using him because remember a big, I guess, issue that a lot of people have with him when scouting it is maybe he's not ready to be a full-time slot receiver in the NFL yet. His releases are off. He's not able to beat press coverage. You kind of have to game plan for him, game plan for him to have success. That may be what his rookie season is going to look like as a gadget guy as he develops as a receiver. But I don't think that's all Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be, I think eventually he'll get to that level where he's used as a full-time receiver. I just think this year, I don't think it's going to be the great year that a lot of people expect. And and let's cross our fingers, but if these receivers are healthy, that's a very small chance. But if these receivers are healthy, and Sterling Shepard is still the player that he is, I don't see Wan'Dale Robinson getting a lot of touches because if KT's balling out, if KG's actually earning his $20 million contract, and if Sterling Shepard is being good, there's not a lot of space for Wan'Dale besides for gadget plays.
Yeah.
I mean. What I will say is that whether it's this year, and part of me does think it's this year or next year, Wan'Dale is going to replace Sterling Shepard at some point.
Oh, yeah. His contract's up next. Yeah. Sterling's contract's up next season, right?
I don't know. Whatever it is, bro. It's like Wan'Dale's going to replace him. He's the clear-cut
I'm gonna miss
part
Sterling,
of the future of this wide receiving core.
I
hope Sterling comes back as a coach or something, bro. Like, I want to see that man retire as a Giant, honestly.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is we talk so much about Derrick Henry rushing. What do y'all think about Saquon Barkley rushing this game against Tennessee's defense?
See, I have to look up the defense. I'm gonna do that right now. Defensive stats for Tennessee because they've always had a good defense. I gotta see their defensive stats though. Titans.
While he's doing that, Ash, you got any thoughts?
Stats.
Yeah, I said previously, like Saquon. I'm expecting more of a bigger game from Saquon receiving the ball, like catching passes out the backfield and. I think they'll use them like that than actually running the ball. I think unless they're bouncing to the outside, I don't think Saquon is going to have the running attack that is going to have much success. Being that I think that our interior offensive line isn't going to have a good game. So statistically, I don't think you see Saquon have like he might have like around like 50 rushing yards, 40 to 50 rushing yards in this game. I don't know. Maybe he can break off one big run.
I was gonna say, wouldn't it like he's known for bouncing it outside? If the inside of our line is gonna be banged up and they're banged up on the outside of their defense, why not bounce it to
They
the
actually
outside?
allow a lot of rushing yards.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, so maybe he can bounce it to the outside like one good time and have a really good chunk play because that's what Saquon is used for. But I'd say like eternal. I'm not really expecting a big game from Saquon rushing the ball, to be honest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, yeah, they don't allow a lot. They've only allowed. It was only. Let me see. Only 3 times in the regular season did they allow over 100 yards of rushing, but each time is like 86, 83. Actually, it's pretty good against the run. Okay, it's pretty good against the run. But we'll see what happens. Like I said, like we talked about, they lost Harold Landry. Their interior defensive front isn't what it was last season. I believe they had DaQuan Jones, who's now a Buffalo Bill on that stacked freaking Bills roster. DaQuan Jones was part of that Tennessee Titans roster last year. He's not there anymore. They got 2 players that I don't even know who they are on the defensive front besides Jeffrey Simmons. So let's hope the interior is not too bad and Saquon could run through. And, I would hope Saquon is working on his game inside the tackles. And I think he is, from what we've seen in practices and preseason stuff like that. So, and obviously he said he doesn't want to be a dancer anymore. So, Tudo, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says massive salute to KB, Kush, and Ash dropped by to pay our proper respects. And for all Giants fans out there, for around the world, slap them stanky Boyd's losers out the door. Tudo, you're awesome. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for popping in here. But yeah, as far as Saquon goes, I would hope that he does a good job running the ball. I talked about this a couple of streams before. We know that Brian Daboll and kind of Mike Kafka coming from Kansas City, they like to pass the ball. I know Kansas City can run the ball. Kansas City has had success running the ball over the past couple of years, going all the way back to like Jamal Charles and even more recently with the backs they had now. But I mean, they're still more of like a passing offense. They're known for being a passing offense. So has Brian Daboll and the Buffalo Bills. But what I've seen from the Giants looks like they might have an identity of running the ball instead of constantly passing the ball. And I would hope they start here in week 1 with Saquon, see what we can do. And then on top of that, we got a good little committee of running backs. I'm not going to say that we should have a running back by committee, but we have a decent depth of running backs.
Do we know what's up with Matt Breida, bro? Do we?
He's healthy now.
He's healthy.
He's healthy now. I mean,
did they tell us why he was out for the entire training camp?
No, they didn't tell us.
This man wasn't in one single training camp practice.
They just like depended on us not asking questions. It's like, oh, he's back. Okay, he's back. That's
what I'm like, nothing. Bro. You don't just randomly pick up on the playbook like that. I'm not really expecting.
I was watching that game. I saw 31. I'm like, wait, so when did Matt Breida come back? The hell did this guy come back? But yeah, he's back,
bro.
He's back, so
I'll say this: like, I don't know if it's just me, but like Brian Daboll or Joe Shane does not like this media. Like, he really doesn't.
I think Pat Leonard really got under his skin, and not under his skin, but he kind of like annoying. Pat Leonard's annoying, so I feel like he's just like that with all the media now. I know what you're saying though.
Yeah, like that. That past press conference he had, he looked depressed. Like
he's already tired of it. Oh man. And I think he sees the difference now between New York State media and New York City media.
Yeah.
There's a difference. Oh man. But yeah. So heading towards the end of this kind of preview. I don't know if there's anything else you guys want to talk about with the preview, but do want to get you guys' score predictions for this game. Who you guys think is gonna win this game. So let's start with the guest. Let's put him in the hot seat. Ash, go ahead. The Giants Twitter menace. Go ahead and say something crazy.
I've been conflicted because so the line for the Giants is what, 6.5?
I believe so. Yeah, they are road dogs.
Week 1. Let me just look it up real quick so I can because like I said, I just put out my video It's taking forever to upload, so I probably won't even promote it till like
I
tomorrow.
feel you on that. YouTube sucks with that,
bro. So like, the Giants are. So the Titans are favored by 5.5. I don't know.
It went down.
I don't know if it up. That's what I'm saying. Like, because I heard 6.5. I don't know if it updated. This is what I'm looking
Yeah,
at.
it'll update. It'll fluctuate throughout the days until the game starts.
This is how I'm looking at on Fox. So earlier in the week, I think Wednesday or Tuesday, I was on. Shout out to Antonio and Manny Breaking and Sal off of Twitter from Breaking Tackles podcast. I was on their channel, and I expected us to lose 29. I think it was like 29-17 or something like that. Now, I did my video, and I expected the Giants to lose, but cover. I don't know the terminology, so like
cover, cover the spread.
So like, so if I'm predicting a game and I'm like, I predict the team to cover, but they lose, can I just say like they cover, but they lose?
They cover and they lose. Yeah, if you predict them to cover and win, you say you have them winning outright.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So I predicted like the Jaguars to win outright, but I didn't that terminology. But I predicted the Giants to cover, right, and lose. So I think that's my fandom getting in the way, because I could see us losing by like 10 points.
It can go any way. It depends on what Giants we see. Yeah, I agree.
So, but for now, just to please people, I think I'm going to take the Giants to cover. But I'm still gonna think we lose.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be, like I said, I think Daniel Jones should be able to drive this offense down the field. I think it's a good matchup for our receivers. I think our passing attack is going to have the better versus the Titans' passing defense in this game. But I'm not. The defense scares me. Outside of Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, and Xavier McKinney, the whole defense scares me.
I agree.
From the ends to the linebackers to the corners, like even Darnay Holmes, like these guys. Darnay Holmes is more of like a zone guy. He gets beat a lot.
Darnay Holmes has Robert Woods to cover.
Yeah, he gets beat a lot, right? And he just, and Aaron Robinson gets beat, but he's good at recovering when he doesn't turn his head back. Like, so I'm really, I don't know, I'm conflicted on this. I would love to see the Giants win, but I don't have faith in Daniel Jones, and I don't have faith in this secondary or this linebacking core or the edges, right? So I'm gonna pick us to, like I said, I'm gonna pick us to cover. But the score, this is always. I don't usually predict scores because like I like to be right. So like
I know, I know. Usually the score's like way off. So yeah, just give us something.
I'm gonna say the Titans beat us 24-20.
Okay. All right, 24-20. Before we get to Kush, Cookie Monster asks, can you do a video covering the spread and all that? Like, I guess betting odds. Cookie Monster, I would, but like I'm not well versed in that to make a whole video on it and act like I know everything. But I'm sure there are plenty of other like YouTube videos to talk about that stuff. That's how I learn. I'm still learning about the whole betting world. I'm knowledgeable in some areas, but like the advanced stuff, I couldn't tell you. So I appreciate you wanting me to make videos on that, but I'm just not well versed in it as other people are. So you could check out those videos. But Kush, give me your thoughts, bro.
Get that super chat.
Damn, this man making me wait. Bobby Murphy in the building. He said, "I feel bad for you, Giants fans. Here's $5 for tissues. Hey, I'll take it.
Hey,
listen, man.
you.
I'll buy the expensive kind. You know what I'm saying? 2-ply. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you, Bobby. I appreciate you, man. I would say good luck to your Eagles, but I don't wish you good luck. I'm on the Dan Campbell bandwagon. So, let's go Lions.
Oh yeah,
Go ahead,
speaking of which, so all three of us here are gonna be at the Giants versus Chicago Bears game. We're gonna be sitting in the same, literally right next to each other, same row, same seats, everything. So if you guys are there, definitely say hi. And then I'm also gonna be at the Giants versus Lions game, which is a little bit later on in the season, because I'm a little bit of a fan of the Lions this year, and it was also gifted to me those tickets by one of my friends. So for predicting the score, the final score, who comes out on top in this Giants versus Titans game, bro? What is this man Ash doing with the drum roll right now? Listen, like I said, I'm very, very excited. His opening game, my fandom is completely running wild inside of me right now. So with that being said, I got the Giants beating the Titans 27-24.
Ooh,
all right,
man.
This probably, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Oh man,
this is probably the only time all season I'm leading with my heart.
Okay, hey, it's week 1.
You know what I'm saying?
Can do that. It's week one.
1.
We've seen, listen, crazy things happen in week 1, okay? Look what the Rams got demolished. They should have been in that game. The Rams got demolished by the Bills, okay? So Eddie Sanchez, I want to quickly highlight Eddie Sanchez. He's been on a subscriber and a good supporter on the channel for a while now. He was actually my first ever super chat. Appreciate you, Eddie. Thank you for popping in here, bro. He says, "What's up, Kid Blue and the rest of the crew? Let's go Giants." And one thing is for sure, anything can happen in the game. That's exactly what Kush was talking about. It's okay to lead with your heart in the first game, week 1, because anything can happen. These things could happen. And I appreciate you for the other super chat, $10 super chat. I appreciate you, man. He says, "Let's go Big Blue." Yes, sir. Now I should have waited for you to go last, Kush, because I'm like everybody's in the high spirits and I'm about to bring us back down. So I'm sorry. I'm just gonna stay consistent. You guys make a good case, but I'm gonna stay consistent with what the picks video I made a couple of days ago. I have the Titans covering their own spread. I believe it was at the time I did it, it was 6.5. Oh no, it was still 5.5. So 5.5 point spread. 31-17. I just think I don't
31-17.
Nah. Bro, it's Derrick Henry.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy, KB? Earlier in the podcast when I said the days of us getting blown out are over, this man goes and gives a blowout score.
I mean, it's not a blowout. I mean,
that's like two. That's 2 or more scores right there. Difference of 2 or more scores.
It's two touchdowns, bro. It's all right.
Yeah,
but
that's a blowout, bro. Yo, Ash, tell me now, isn't 31-17 a blowout? Yeah, this man's mic cut out, but I read his lips, so I know he said that's a blowout.
I'm sorry, I had to, guys. I'm not confident. They have to show me something before I'm gonna. I want to put my heart in it. I've been doing it for years, though. I've been doing it for years, and you know what? If they prove me wrong, I'll eat all the crow. There is. So
that Broncos game last straw for me.
Thank you. I think I predicted us to win that game too. My dumb self. So
which game?
The Broncos game. Last year.
How was week 1 last year? If anything, the last straw for all of us was the Washington game, bro.
Oh my god, I almost cried that game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was sitting in that corner just freaking.
Because even though last year, a lot of people forget this. Last year from week 1, I was on Joe Judge's head. It took a couple other people a couple weeks to get on his head. Even though it was the final game of the season, that was the game that finally pushed me over the edge that said, fire this guy, man. The Washington game.
Yeah, Manny said that the 3-score game. No, it's a 2-score game. 31-17 is 2 touchdowns. 14 points. But I mean, I just have it's gonna be the typical Giants thing, right? And especially with how the Tennessee Titans run their offense with Derrick Henry. I believe we're gonna keep it close to the half. It'll probably be I don't know, 14 to who knows, 10 or something like that by the half. And I just feel like Derrick Henry is gonna wear that defense down and pull away with it towards the end and rack up the points, and they'll come away with the win 31-17. I mean, I want to feel confident in this team. I just don't think we're matched up well. I said this, I'm staying consistent. I think this was probably the worst team we could have faced week 1 on our schedule. I really think that.
Worst?
Yes.
The worst?
Yes.
Nah, bro. There's a couple other teams in the NFL that I would.
No. In our schedule. Our schedule.
All right. Let me go over our schedule real quick. I think if we faced Packers week 1, that would have been worse. I think if we faced Ravens week 1, that would have been worse.
Well, any running team that runs for
even the Vikings aren't really. I mean, Dalvin Cook's been out.
They got Dalvin Cook.
Yeah,
he's out.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I would say Packers. Ravens would be the teams on our schedule that's definitely worse.
I don't think.
Tennessee is one of the worst.
I think Ravens. I would agree with you because Ravens run for like 200 yards a game. But any team that runs for a lot of yards a game and just completely just ground and pounds the whole game is one of the worst teams to play in the first week of the season because your guys are not conditioned. They're not as conditioned. They're not in midseason form. These guys are gonna get tired, worn out, and they're gonna miss some tackles. They're definitely gonna be missing some tackles. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but it's going to be really sad to go from seeing an Anthony Richardson masterclass this Saturday
against Kentucky. A lot of listen. A lot of people are taking Kentucky, bro.
The stream, the menace is back, yo. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be really interesting to go from seeing an Anthony Richardson masterclass to Daniel Jones.
Listen. All I'm gonna say to Giants fans right now. All I'm going to say to Giants fans right now is that we got Joe Shane, and a lot of people started tweeting out last night, if this is what the Giants look like in 3 years with Joe Shane, I'm for it. You know what I was thinking in my head every time I saw those tweets? Well, that could happen, but we need a quarterback like Josh Allen. All I'm saying is maybe AR-15, the young man wearing number 15 down in the bayou of the Florida swamps, could be that. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Not really. Listen, man. He's the guy. I mean, I know it's week one. A lot of Giants fans don't want to hear me talking about other quarterbacks in week one when week one is this weekend. But
when is that game? What time is the game?
7 o'clock.
Oh,
you know what's unfortunate, bro? I got work tomorrow from 10 to 6, and then I have like an event to go to like at 7:30.
I would be completely
missing that.
Listen, I have my grandmother's birthday at my mom's house tomorrow. I don't care. I'm gonna be sitting in one of the rooms with the TV on, watching the damn floor. Happy birthday, Grandma!
Bro.
I'm going to the room.
Bro.
Goodbye.
Your grandma outlived the queen, bro. Show some respect,
bro. She had 70 of those things already. All right, I'm tired. We tired. We tired of those. Okay.
That's a wild statement to make. No. Nah.
Listen, it's AR-15 time, bro. So I need to watch that game. And on top of that, I need not Will Levis to top freaking Anthony Richardson. You can't.
Will Levis not gonna do anything, bro.
I swear the freaking the narrative from here on out, Will Levis beats out
bro, I need him to go
Anthony Richardson.
I need him to go number one. So
for real,
we can just have.
Yeah, but like, what if we're that bad, bro? And we just we take Will Levis. I'll cry. I swear I will cry on stream, bro.
Oh my goodness.
I will cry on stream, bro. No, bro. I'm not
going from a Duke quarterback to a Kentucky quarterback. That's insane.
We're going from a Blue Devil to a freaking what are they called? Wildcat? A Wildcat? What the hell is that?
Nah, we're gonna go from a Blue Devil to a Gator, bro. Believe it, and it will happen.
I hope so, man. I hope so. But yeah,
definitely not a Buckeye. I'll tell you that. Go ahead, listen to the stream.
I'm down.
Yeah, them damn Ohio State quarterbacks, bro. Who the hell gets a quarterback from Ohio State? Anyway, they're moving.
It's gonna be. You saw Joe Shane at Ohio State's pro day.
Bro, he went there. Whether it's the quarterback's fault or not, they don't work out, bro.
He went there just to say, "Listen, bro, I ain't drafting you. All right, we're looking at the man. We're looking at the man from Kentucky."
Yeah, all right. Man. Crazy Joe Shane.
But we're gonna get ready to wrap this up, guys. We talked about the preview for the Giants. Like I said before, if you guys are interested, make sure you guys use my promo code KB27 for 20% off plus free shipping. Not handling, just free shipping at manscaped.com. I'm just being a little bit more full of life for Kush, so he critiqued my my promo.
You gotta add in a joke, bro. You gotta listen. You know
your balls will give you gratitude, okay?
Bro, you know the Ford F-150 commercials? If you're on TikTok, there's this guy that makes really just heinous mockery of those commercials.
Yeah.
Have you seen him? He'd be like,
I seen on TikTok.
Have you ever got your wallet stolen in the middle of the night and stranded in the middle of nowhere? That's what it's like to drive a Ford F-150. You gotta do one of that for the Manscaped. Be like, have you ever hopped in the beach and felt the cold sting your skin like chewing 5-hour gum? That's what it's like to get Manscaped. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Have you ever felt the wind between your legs?
Hey, yo, where's that going?
with the crop reviver, the fresh tone. Oh man, see, I'm bad at that. I'm not gonna get into that, but it's hard doing a promo for Manscaped without laughing because you just like you're trying to come up with something like clever, and you're just like, yo, this is like, bro, I don't even want to say this. I don't even want to say this. But yeah, you guys, just for my sake, just use the code. Okay, get anything. Get some boxers, bro. Get some. You guys need new boxers, so get some new ones. Yeah,
bro, this man said y'all got holes in them. I know.
Yeah, facts, bro. I know you guys do. Just get some. They're really comfortable too. Let me tell you, they're probably one of my favorite pairs of boxers. So go ahead and use that, man. Go ahead and use that. But that being said, guys, any last thoughts from you two before we wrap this thing up?
No matter what happens with the Giants this season, I'm just excited to have football across the league back. Like, I feel like for the first time in a couple of years, I told KB a little bit, I'm just going to be watching more football than just the Giants for the sake of my sanity, but also to enjoy football as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm invested in college. This is the season. I always say this every year, by the way. I'm invested in college football. After last week, there was some good games last week. I'm definitely investing in college football this season. I'll be looking at college prospects early and stuff like that. So I'm invested. I'll be watching every Saturday. Usually I just take a nap every Saturday and have college football in the background, but I'll be watching, especially our boy down at the Swamp. So anything from you, Ash? Final words?
Nah, man. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, sir.
We are. Am I lagging?
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. And y'all were frozen on my end, but yeah. Let's hope for a Giants W. Let's see what this young team can do. Hopefully, this year for me is about not just W's and L's. It's about laying the foundation for the future and seeing what's coming up. So, yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention this earlier, but the links to Ash's Twitter and his channel, his YouTube channel, is in the description below. Make sure you guys check that out. He's posting back on his YouTube, and he's a menace on Giants Twitter, huh?
Am I really that toxic on Twitter? Like for real?
Not toxic. Is that you're like notable on Twitter. You're notable. Everybody knows you on Twitter. So you're the disappointed guy. So. You're the disappointed guy. I mean, like I say, you are the Giants Twitter menace, man. You literally caused a whirlwind on Twitter that day. So, congrats.
Hey.
But yeah, make sure you guys follow him. The links are in the description below. Also, Kush, you guys know Kush, but if you guys aren't subscribed, his link is also in the description below. Make sure you guys like the stream, helps out a lot. Use the promo code at Manscaped, and we will see you guys next time.